What if I told you Samsung's newest Galaxy S26 Edge isn't about innovation at all, but about copying Apple's worst habits? That's the surprising reality we're looking at, and honestly, it feels like a strange turn for a company once known for bold risks and pushing the industry forward. Here's the thing, people have been clear for years. Most of us would happily trade a thinner phone for a bigger battery. Nobody wants their phone dying halfway through the day. But instead of listening to that, Samsung is doubling down on ultra-slim designs. The S25 Edge already had a smaller battery than any other model in the series, and now the S26 Edge is rumored to stay on the same track. Yes, it's a little bigger than before, but still underwhelming compared to what's possible. And that's where the frustration sets in. Samsung doesn't have to make this compromise. Battery technology has advanced. Silicon-carbon batteries are already proving you can pack more capacity into a smaller package. Other companies are moving fast on this. Oppo just released the A6 Max with a massive 7,000 mAh battery. Honor launched a phone with 8,000 mAh. OnePlus and Realme are working on the same kind of innovation, with some concept devices rumored to go as high as 15,000 mAh. Meanwhile, Samsung, the same company that gave us 7 generations of foldables before Apple even launched one, decides to stick with old-school lithium-ion. It's almost like they've traded their pioneering spirit for Apple's play-it-safe approach. And if that wasn't clear enough, the S26 Ultra is expected to carry the same 5,000 mAh battery capacity Samsung has been using since 2020. That's 5 years without progress in an area that matters most to users. To put it in perspective, Apple's iPhone 17 Air is rumored to come with a tiny 2,900 mAh battery. That's classic Apple, always waiting, always holding back. The difference is, we expect that from Apple. But from Samsung, this is the company that changed the game with the Galaxy Note when everyone else said big phones wouldn't sell. This is the company that took enormous risks with foldables even when the first generation had some embarrassing issues. And yet those risks paid off. Samsung was supposed to be the one pushing the industry forward, not settling for mediocrity. So what happened? Somewhere along the line, Samsung seems to have decided that looking sleek on a spec sheet or in marketing photos is more important than delivering what users keep asking for, real battery life. And in doing that, it feels like Samsung is slowly becoming Apple 2.0, the kind of company that plays it safe, that ignores new tech until it's proven, that keeps design consistent even at the cost of innovation. And sure, thinner phones might photograph better, they might feel sleek in your hand, but at what cost? Nobody's showing off how slim their phone is when they're scrambling for a charger at 5 p.m. What makes this even harder to accept is that Samsung knows better. This is the company that survived the Galaxy Note 7 fiasco. That moment could have destroyed their reputation forever, but instead of retreating, they used it as motivation to improve, to show that risks were worth taking if they ultimately led to better products. Now, it feels like the fire's gone out. And the irony is, at the exact same time Samsung seems to be slowing down, Chinese brands are racing ahead with massive batteries and bold designs. They're delivering the kind of devices that people actually want, phones that last, phones that don't force you to compromise. That's the competition Samsung used to lead. Today, it looks like they're watching from the sidelines. And here's my personal take. This shift doesn't just hurt Samsung's identity, it hurts the entire smartphone industry. When a company as big and influential as Samsung decides to coast instead of lead, it sets the tone for everyone else. It tells consumers that we shouldn't expect groundbreaking features anymore, that incremental updates and thinner frames are all we'll get. And that's disappointing, especially for those of us who remember when Samsung was the daring one, the company that made Apple play catch-up instead of the other way around. So where does that leave the Galaxy S26 Edge? On paper, it'll probably look impressive. Slim profile, gorgeous display, polished design, no doubt. But beneath the surface, it feels like a symbol of what Samsung has lost. The willingness to push boundaries, the confidence to take risks, the drive to listen to what people actually want instead of chasing aesthetics. And at the end of the day, it's not just about the battery. It's about what the battery represents. A company that once stood for innovation now seems content to follow Apple's lead, even in the areas where Apple frustrates users the most. And that, more than the size of the battery itself, is what makes the Galaxy S26 Edge a disappointment. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.